Raise your hand if you've ever made a dumb decision under pressure. A dumb decision under pressure, yeah. Keep it up if you knew it was wrong and you did it anyway. Yeah. I see you, bro. I see you. Welcome to the club. This man we're going to talk about today, he was there too. His name was Pilate. And Pilate wasn't evil. I don't think Pilate was evil. This is my opinion. I think Pilate was just exhausted. Pilate was the one who ended up giving the okay to sentence Jesus to death. And people don't usually... I'm going to get ahead here for a minute, and I'll back up. People don't usually crave chaos, right? People don't usually crave chaos. Usually they're craving an escape. Usually. And this is Pilate. But everybody's okay. Pilate tried to avoid drama and chose silence over the truth to please everybody around him. No rules in a breakable heaven. That line right there. No rules in a breakable heaven. So it feels exciting, right? It feels, but there's no boundaries, just vibes, right? Which, if you've ever lived by that chaos where everything is fragile, it seems like you're only one move away from crashing it all. Just one. In John chapter 18 and verse 28, this is where we're going to pick up. And this is that story of Pilate. Then they led Jesus from the house of Caiaphas to the governor's headquarters. It was early in the morning. They themselves did not enter the governor's headquarters. Check this out. They themselves did not enter the governor's headquarters so that they would not be defiled, but could eat the Passover. So they themselves, these are the people that led Jesus from the house of Caiaphas to the governor's headquarters. So these are religious leaders taking, Caiaphas was the high priest, and they take Jesus, they're ready to bring him to be crucified. And they bring him to Pilate because they need Pilate's permission, because this is in Rome. Rome has the ultimate authority. While this was a religious dispute, Pilate could give the final word for the crucifixion. And so they themselves, these religious people, did not enter the governor's headquarters so that they would not be defiled. They wanted his opinion, but didn't want. These guys are, and this is so interesting to me because they didn't want to be defiled, but they were planning murder. They didn't want to be defiled, but this was a chaotic heart in clean clothing. Jesus at one point called it whitewashed tombs. And this point really stands out to me. The restlessness under religion still leaves you empty. The restlessness under religion still leaves you empty. They're bringing him to Jesus, but they're there's chaos going on. This is a chaotic time. They're about to have a feast. But Jesus is in the way, and we've got to take care of this, and there's got to be a more peaceful way to go about this. They follow what they're supposed to do. They take him to Pilate. This is what but there's no doubt they're running on empty. So verse 29, so Pilate went outside to them and said, "What accusation do you bring against this man?" And they answered him, "If this man were not doing evil, we would not have delivered him over to you." This is Jesus. If this man were not doing evil, we would not have delivered him over to you. And verse 31 says, Pilate said to them, "Take him yourselves and judge him by your own law." The Jews said to him, "It is not lawful for us to put anyone to death." Kill Jesus. And so here we see Pilate he's quiet. It's almost as if he's trying to avoid this. It's almost as if he's trying to stay away from this. He wants quiet, not necessarily truth. And it seems like when we read this, Pilate craves comfort. This is a difficult decision to make because in the end, Pilate knows this man's innocent. And he's in the middle of it. But he doesn't crave blood. He craves comfort. And it's interesting as Pilate tries to delegate his calling to other people. Pilate tries to get other people to follow through with his calling. It's his call. This is his role. And Pilate, avoiding decisions won't quiet the storm. It delays the healing. Pilate tries to avoid the decision, but it doesn't quiet the storm. It just delays his inner healing. We all do it from time to time, right? Man, this is a difficult conversation to have, and we avoid it. This is a difficult, and we avoid it. This is a difficult, and we avoid it. And we sweep it under the rug, so to speak. And in reality, avoiding it, sweeping under the rug, it doesn't quiet the chaos. It just delays the healing. It just delays the healing. Verse 32, this was to fulfill the word that Jesus had spoken to show by what kind of death he was going to die. And 33, so Pilate entered the headquarters again and called Jesus and said to him, "Are you King of the Jews?" So now Pilate's engaged. Now he's locked in. "Are you King of the Jews?" Verse 34, Jesus answered, "Do you say this of your own accord? Or did others say it to you about me?" So Jesus says, "You saying this on your own?" Seems like Pilate didn't really know who he was. Pilate just echoed the room. Whatever the room was saying, Pilate goes with the flow. It would seem like Pilate's allowing their voice to be his loudest voice, instead of who he is. And in another setting of Scripture, his wife comes to him. I had a dream about that guy. Do not do anything to this man. This man is a holy man. He didn't do anything wrong. I had a dream about it. Don't do anything. And she tells her husband this, and Pilate. So there's no doubt. But here's the thing. It's one voice in silence, in quiet. It's one voice that others didn't hear. And now you have a mass, a crowd. And so here's Pilate. Because when you don't know who you are, you'll just echo whatever's loudest. Seems like this is where Pilate was, where whatever's loudest, he's just echoing. Yeah. So, who are you? Is this you asking? Is this you? Pilate. Verse 35, Pilate answered, am I a Jew? Your own nation and the chief priests have delivered you over to me. What have you done? Seems like Pilate is honing in. Verse 36, Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would have been fighting. If my kingdom was of this world, my servants would have been fighting, that I might not be delivered over to the Jews. But my kingdom is not from the world. I want to go here just for a second. It's really interesting to me. The Jews didn't catch on to this. Because isn't this what we want? We all get in situations where it just feels like things aren't going as they should for us, right? And Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. And so if I use this, I say, you know what? I'm going through this, but my kingdom isn't of this world. Because if where I'm actually living, where I'm actually from, if I called those servants, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be dealing with this problem. I wouldn't be dealing with this drama. I wouldn't be dealing with this. And then he says, but my kingdom isn't of this world. In other words, there's a higher level. I love what you said. There's a higher level. It says, yeah, sometimes things don't go my way. And the joy of the Lord is my strength. It's not my joy, it's his. He's the one that gives me that strength when I realize I've got someone I can talk to. I've got someone I can be with. I've got someone that's fighting for me. So then Pilate said to him, so you are a king? Jesus answered, you say that I am a king. For this purpose I was born. For this purpose I've come into this world, to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice. He's carrying the truth. He's embodying the truth. This is Jesus. This is the Messiah. This is the, and here's the thing. He's not trying to debate Pilate. He said, you said that I'm a king. This is why I was born. This is why I came into the world. To bear witness. No debate. It's not an argument. It's not it's and again, I see identity here. I see Pilate's identity in listening to the crowd. I see Jesus' identity in knowing who he was. I feel like if Jesus was lost in his identity, it would have became an argument. It would have became a... And see, we don't need to win every argument. We just can't lose ourselves. Who you are is invaluable. And the argument could be made, but you don't have to win it. Just don't lose who you are. Don't lose yourself. Verse 38, Pilate said to him, "What is truth?" After he said this, he went back outside to the Jews and told them, I find no guilt in him. So Pilate says, "What is truth?" And then he walks out. And he was one question away from the answer. When you ignore the truth, watch this, the loudest lie wins. This is where Pilate found himself. When you ignore the truth, the loudest lie wins. What the Jews were doing, what the religious leaders were doing to Jesus was a lie. They were living a lie. This man is innocent. Deep down, they had to have some inclination, some idea that he was the Messiah. Yet, Nicodemus knew. I'm sure there were others that knew this is the Messiah. But Pilate, when you ignore the truth, the loudest lie wins. Verse 39 says, "But you have a custom that I should release one man for you." So he goes on, Pilate goes on, and he's telling the Jews, "So do you want me to release to you the king of the Jews?" And he reiterates who Jesus is. You want me to release your king, or would you rather me release a criminal? And boom, Barabbas comes in the picture. So verse 40, they cried out again, "Not this man, give us Barabbas." Now, Barabbas was a robber. He was a thief. And Barabbas, and this is really interesting to me because Barabbas, the crowd chose Barabbas over Jesus. The crowd chose chaos over peace. Jesus is quiet. He's steady. He's confronting. But Barabbas, he's violent. He's loud. He's unstable. Culture always craves. Maybe I shouldn't say always. Culture seems like more times than not craves the noise over the truth. Craves the chaos over the peace. But what you choose in chaos shapes your character in the calm. In all the noise, in all the chaos, what you choose in that moment shapes your character in the calm. You know why? Peace doesn't shout. Chaos does. Don't we all know this to be true? Peace doesn't shout. Chaos does. Chaos enters the picture, anxiety is raised. chaos enters the picture. I started this, well, I didn't start it. I was in this group chat once. And it was a good thing starting out. And somewhere along the line, it got derailed. And at some point, I had to mute it. Not because the content wasn't valuable. I had to mute it because it was messing with me. It was messing with who I was. It was messing with... And I muted it, but here's the thing. I didn't get out of it. I just muted it. I wanted the chaos. Internally, I was craving the chaos. But in reality, what I needed was the peace. And sometime later, I ended up disconnecting completely. And man, the peace that comes from that. The calm. When I just disconnected, I'm out. Because inwardly, I'm not craving. I'm craving chaos. I feel like Pilate muted that conviction too. He stayed too long. Surrendered to the pressure of the religious leaders, the pressure of the Jews, the pressure of the... So I want to come back. Cruel summers. They come when you crave thrill more than truth. When you're willing to trade peace for the pressure. And Jesus invites us to a better way. It's a better kingdom. It's not fragile, it's not fake, it's not breakable, it's unshakable, unmovable. Chaos. What's that noise? Pilate, why are you listening to all the noise? I'm convinced internally. Craving the chaos. I need the noise. It's good for business. There's a man right now. I just told someone this the other day. There's a man right now who all he does, it seems, is crave the chaos. They said, what's he doing? What's he doing now? What's going on now? Thank you. What's he doing now? What's going on now? It's just chaos. It's just noise. He functions well in it because it's all he's used to. Pilate gets done here, and Pilate realizes that the Jews aren't getting it. Pilate realizes that the Jews aren't understanding what's going on. I think Pilate gets it here. So here's what Pilate decides to do. I feel like it's what a lot of us do. This is what Pilate decides to do. He takes his hands and he puts them in a bowl of water. And he washes them. You know what he's saying? I'm clean of this. I ain't got nothing to do with this. Whatever you do from here forward, this is on you. It's almost like he's trying to wash away the weight of it. Wash away. And sometimes don't we do that same thing? we feel like just washing our hands of it, not dealing with it. Just, I'm not going to deal with it. It's still there. I'm not going to deal with it. It's like we're trying to rinse the guilt with distractions. It's like I'll just head this way. Wash my hands of this, I'll head this way. Wash my hands. Pretty soon you run out of directions. It's like we're trying to clean up a mess that we're never meant to carry. And I feel like what we need we don't necessarily need a rinse. We just need a reset. It's not, we don't need to wash our hands. It's not that we need to wash our hands. We need to lift them. It's a moment of surrender. It's not, I'm not washing my hands and moving to the next thing. I'm lifting my hands saying, okay, God, you got this. You got this. Pilate chose comfort over clarity. And today we have the opportunity to choose as well. Not something fake, not something fragile, not just moving it to the side. Not just something real. Something